Every 4 years, the US presidential election makes headlines around the world. But it's not just about who sits in the Oval Office. It's about how the election shapes our daily lives. Few realize how much these outcomes can shape industries, and travel and tourism are no exception. From travel policies to international relations, the next president could impact where we go, who comes to visit, and even what it costs to explore our own country. So, how exactly will the 2024 election impact your travel plans? Let's dive in. Number 1. Current state of U.S. travel and tourism. Therefore, before we discuss where we are going, let's first look at where we are. Luckily, the number of tourists visiting the United States and the amount of money the tourism sector earned after the pandemic has rapidly increased. Travel industry jobs are mostly back, and big tourist destinations are bringing in large herds again. But challenges remain. The industry is still experiencing challenges such as shortage of qualified staff, increased operating expenses, and the ever-volatile consumer expenditure. As tourism brings billions into the country, the stakes are high. Policy changes in 2024 may be boom or bust. Second, election-driven changes in policies. In every election year, voters get to see politicians make proposals that may affect the ability of international visitors to travel to the U.S., and these are various and include visas. These can either be made easier or harder to obtain, to potential changes in travel restrictions on the basis of health or security. Government-supported national parks and cultural sites may incur changes in funds due to budget that can affect the tourist experiences. Furthermore, funding by federal government for tourism marketing, which is especially important for marketing the USA abroad, might increase or decline depending on the approach of the given administration. Number 3, impact on international tourism. It could have a huge bearing on international tourism to the United States, because the perception of the next president towards the rest of the world will determine the perception of the rest of the world towards the United States as a tourist destination. Current policies regulating the duration it takes to process the visa has already been elongated since after the COVID-19 pandemic, so it may increase or decrease. Friendly relations with the diplomatic world may increase friendly travel policies, while unfriendly relations may discourage tourists from certain areas. Immigration policies or policies relating to safety within public spaces will impact how safe international travelers imagine themselves to be, which could affect the levels of tourism in the future years. Number 4, domestic travel trends and spending. Domestic travels in the United States might receive considerable alterations based on the outcomes of an election. Election promises to pass an act that would provide for tax credits for traveling in freshly infused infrastructural development of roads, airports, and methods of public transportation. On the other hand, the economic policies leading to change in inflation rates or employment stability might alter travel expenditure. Americans are willing to spend money on vacations, but mostly when they feel financially ready, but economic insecurity may compel them to reduce their spending. The travel industry pays close attention to such possible policy changes, given the positive correlation between the economic perspective and domestic tourism. Number 5, long-term effects. The long-term effects of the election on travel and tourism can't be ignored. Tourism creates millions of jobs, from hotels to restaurants to transportation services, and a supportive policy environment can lead to job growth in these sectors. Marketing efforts to promote U.S. destinations globally may get a boost or face budget cuts, depending on the administration's priorities. These choices affect not only the travel industry, but also local economies reliant on tourism. The outcome of this election will likely have ripple effects on the industry for years, shaping the opportunities available in travel and hospitality. Conclusion: thus, the 2024 presidential election and nomination are all about politics, but also about the experiences of the human lives and travels. From shifts in the global politics to the state's buying capacity, the election has probably affected travel more than most people can comprehend. Americans and our guests should know that this year's election could well decide what the future holds, how we get there, and what happens to us along the way. Therefore, when filling the ballot, think about what each vote could change, not only our country, but also the trip we make in it.